the microphone going there. So let's see what we're going to do today. I got to see how I'm going to go about trying to get this one set up. I'm probably going to do what I normally do. Slide that box out of there, get that up here. We'll put it in here. Yep, there it is. It's in. Lock that one in. Lock that one in. And then, I don't want to screw up. Let's go. We're getting it. Camera's going to get loaded. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's 8:30. We're live on YouTube. Live on, yeah, there we go. That looks like it should be just about right. We could even go in a little more. Yeah, it's right there. Get rid of that mouse. And I'll check out the YouTube to see if the YouTube's any good. And then we'll start monitoring on there too. All right, we'll hit YouTube. Here we go. Hit that. Hit that. We're live. Monitoring on there too. Yep, it's working. Thanks. Hey, Tater Dom, good to see you. Let me do the welcome. Welcome, everybody. We monitor comments. Let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on. Tonight, we are talking Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series 2025, the Keeper's batch, but we're going to put it up against the Heart batch. Send. Oh, I must have went to... Yep, there we go. Send. All right, that's up. We're ready for YouTube. Thanks for holding in there. Randy Ford, just cheers, Randy. Good to see you. Oh, don't you dare. All right, I got everything. That's monitored. It's trying to wreck it. Let me, I had it set up not to do this. All right, let's make sure everything's monitored. Yes, it's monitored. So I've got that. Welcome tonight. We'll get this going. Hey, Greg Schneider's on, Randy Ford, Abe Foreman, Walker Cyrus, Matt, Tater Dom, everybody. We're going to get this podcast with Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series started. I'm going to get closer because I don't want to. There we go. All right. So what you're going to hear is a 30-second pause. And then once that goes, you will hear the theme song and we'll get this podcast kicked off. Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series, the Keeper's release. To let it air a bit, it didn't even need to air a bit, but it was nice. I mean, it's just a really good thing. All right, so here we go. The Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we're here to have fun, and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun. All right, welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Wait, we're having problems. Will someone check on Facebook to make sure that you can hear me? Someone's saying they can't hear me, but I would imagine that they should be able to hear me because I can monitor that real quick to make sure. Has anyone had so cheers, well, Walker, can you hear? Okay, thank you. Has anyone had the vanilla bean cheesecake private select from Maker's Mark? Picked up when it's there 2 weeks ago. I haven't opened it yet. I have not. But Walker, are you saying okay? You're good now. Good. That should be good. So tonight we are doing the Maker's Mark, the wood finishing series. We're going to give it a little bit of a history on that. We're going to be tasting and opening this 2025. Let's see, I want that forward. Yeah, let's take this back. Perfect. And going through that. But first, we are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. You can get our t-shirts. You can get our Glens. You also can get the t-shirts and Glens by just leaving a comment on Facebook and YouTube. I'll get your address. We'll set up the Venmo and you can pick it up. We also have barrel picks right now from one of our sponsors, which is the Lillian Sinclair and the William Dalton, available to anybody who would want to get your hands on this. Give me a call. And I can set you up. The Lillian Sinclair is the last from the Spirits of French Lick, is the last batch or barrel that Alan Bishop was associated with his own whiskey before he went off to Old Homestead. We're going to quick do our other sponsors. We've got Middle West Spirits. They're in Columbus, Ohio. This is on the shelf in 48 states. The cast strength that they're releasing of their Miquelon Reserve brand has been fantastic. They've got this straight wheated bourbon whiskey. They got straight wheated whiskey. And then they also have a great pumpernickel rye, all at cast strength. You got to check them out. What they're doing down there in Columbus, having their two distilleries. Their original craft distillery is running 24/7, along with their large, gigantic Jim Beam, massive distillery producing right now. They've been doing it for about a year. Can't wait till we get to taste some of the stuff out of there. But what Ryan Lang has set up and what he's doing, you got to check it out. Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. And if you visit their original craft distillery, they also have a fantastic fine dining restaurant called the Service Bar. So check that out. Then we also have Whiskey Thief Distilling Company with their two locations. Their one main location at Three Boys Farms in Frankfort, Kentucky. Fantastic experience that when you go there, it is a barrel pick all day, every day. And you basically get to choose from 5 different barrels, thief your own, taste them again. And if you like one of those barrels for the cost of admission of a tour, you can then bottle your own in 375s or 750s. It's a fantastic experience that you don't want to miss out on. And they also have experience now in Louisville, Kentucky, in the Nulu area. Their tasting room, exact same thing. Barrel pick all day, every day. Remember, Whiskey Thief and the Scotchy Bourbon Boys are uncut and unfiltered. Also, then we have Rosewood bourbons and ryes. You got you got Jason Giles, who has basically worked out distilling, which hasn't hit the shelves yet, but he's also purchased barrels that he then that have aged in Indiana and Kentucky. He drives them down in a semi 946 miles to I want to say Houston, Texas, and he lets them age there for at least one of those hot seasons in Texas. And he comes out with some fantastic bourbons and rye. So you got to check out Rosewood Bourbon and Rye. Uh, Alan Bishop is also one of our sponsors, and he does If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything podcast, plus the One Piece of the Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. And if you are a home distiller or have any interest in home distilling, that's the show for you. He is the alchemist of the Black Forest, and Alan Bishop does a fantastic job when it comes to the down to earth love and history of bourbon making that he has then portrayed into his own right back into his own distilling, and it's fantastic. So anyways, all right, so there we go for that. We're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Remember, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. You can watch us there, see our posts, see our shorts, see our lives. And then we're also on all the major podcast formats, Apple, iHeart, Spotify mainly, but anywhere you want to listen to us. But no matter how you do it, whether you listen or you watch us, remember, listen, like, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. That feedback means a lot to us, especially if you can go to Apple and leave if you like what you're seeing tonight. Just please go to Apple, check that out, and that will help with us becoming higher than the number 3 whiskey podcast in the world, according to, and I will get that. Let's see, according to, and we can do this right here. I am going to share the screen. Let's do that according to, it's great, but you can do this. I had it here. Okay, we'll hit share, and then we'll hit of the 60. It's according to FeedSpot, of the 60 podcasts, the 60 best whiskey podcasts in the world, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys are ranked 3rd at FeedSpot. So check that out. The link is there on. I included on the link on YouTube, and I'll put one down on Facebook when I'm finished. You can check us out and the other podcasts there. But that's really kind of cool. I love that part of it. So the being 3rd, I'm honored. We are honored, and we love the fact that we've been ranked 3rd. I don't know how it is. Okay, so Hash Green, chug the bottle, my boy. Yeah, and then the guy's out. Yeah, that's what I do. I chug bottles on the podcast. That, it's funny because if you watch early on when I used to be on TikTok, I did do a bottle chug of I believe Elijah Craig, but that just got me. It was Elijah Craig toasted, and that just got me in trouble on TikTok. So no bottle chugs here, my friend. We've got Mashi's on, Mr. Smith. It's like whatever. It's like I have no idea where all this political stuff just comes on from it's like us people here, we keep our whiskey and our politics separate, especially here on the podcast, because everybody, I believe, the whiskey is the ultimate what would you say, go between people with differences. If you're sharing a pour with somebody, you've got something in common. It seems to fix a lot of problems. So that's where we're at there. So here we are. We're at the Maker's Mark. We've got these 2 wood finishing series, but honestly, one of the cool things about Maker's Mark is becoming an ambassador, and they have a program there, and you could sign up on Mercury, chug them both. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Gate said hi. What I wanted to say is that their ambassador program is pretty. Why is that? Oh, because we shared the screen. So now I'm not getting any. So, wow. Let's just keep going that way. We'll go that way. All right. Sanford Joseph. Okay. Walker can't say that I have, but I have the same favorite. Mine is okay. Ice cream social for. So, all right. Yeah, I do. We have ice cream social, but the ambassador program is really cool. You can download the app, or you can go to Maker's Mark and sign up for their ambassador program. It's what they do is they basically you sign up and they fill a barrel and put your name on it with, I believe, 6 or 7 other people, and you get updates on that barrel throughout time. Plus, you get a certificate. You get all this, a letter and everything as part of being in the ambassador program. And after the barrel matures, which my barrel should be maturing, you can buy bottles from that barrel. It's the barrel that when I first started in 2019, it went up. I can't wait. I'm going to buy all the barrels I possibly can from that barrel. Maker's Mark, these barrels are aged till they're ready. It's a little bit more aged. It's a single barrel, so it's really kind of cool. It's not a blend like Maker's Mark. It comes out the barrel. So fantastic, fantastic program, and it's all honestly, it's free. And I've gotten uh, Christmas ornaments. I've gotten socks. I've gotten. I mean, there's so much that they were able, that you've gotten through them through this ambassador program. Plus, every year that you go there to keep up. And this is that you saw my one ambassador, but this is my Maker's Mark ambassador. Now I went there in 2025, which is crazy, but you get these pins. So they went to these pins, and then you used to get the ribbons. So I really love that part of the program, and that part of the program. So up until your barrel's ready, but being an ambassador, once your barrel comes due and you go down and you get the free ambassador tour, but we're going to be going down and getting the tour, but also we are going to be hopefully having Rob Samuels on the podcast that day when we go down, and we'll celebrate that the barrel came due. And this is the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. You could buy more than the 9 bottles that they normally prepare. Okay. But that's really cool. Yeah. Well, if you are an ambassador, they did not close it. You can get up to, it's there. We were there. It's a couple podcasts ago with Amanda Humphrey that we did. And then we're talking let's see, Blake. Oh my gosh. I knew. Let's see if I go down. Let's see how far that was, Abe. All right. Like, yeah, I'm looking for it. Blake Layfield is their master distiller, so that's kind of cool. But have missed everything. I need to figure out what to do. I've been signed up, but have missed everything. Oh, okay. Anyways, so when we were there, last time when we had Amanda Humphreys on, and she's their event coordinator, and she is in charge, just in charge of a lot of stuff, helping with blending and helping with everything around the distillery, helping with the farm. The farm is amazing. That is one thing that's really kind of cool. The farm there, and I've got, this is a little bit older, but it still is good for. Let's see what I did. Oh my God, did I just? I'm looking. All right. I thought wait. Did I? No. That's the. How do you lose your glasses? The glasses should be in this area. Did I lose them? I do not see the glasses, so that's going to be. I did not take the glasses anywhere. All right. So, there they are. Fell on the floor. So we'll get the glasses off the floor because that's very important to do the read. For all you new guys, this is about how it goes all the time. We're just hanging out, and at the end, it becomes kind of a party. So let me read from Michael Jackson's Whiskey, the Definitive World Guide Scotch Bourbon Whiskey, new edition. This was, I believe, came out in I want to say 2019, but I will let you know. Let's see. And so he definitely, I have no idea what the hell that is. Interesting. My wife has come home. Let's see. It was updated. He had passed and he had done the world guide, and this was the new edition. So it's like Maker's Mark, founded in 1805. It's owned by Suntory now. It used to be Beam Suntory, but it's Suntory. Method column and pot stills, capacity 1.8 million gallons, but I do believe they have much more capacity now. So, America's first premium specialty bourbon of the modern era, a soft and easy dram lies hidden in the rolling hills of Marion County. The distillery site is one of Kentucky's oldest. Amid the rolling hills of Marion County, in a broad and fertile hollow with sycamore trees standing sentinel in the organic cluster of buildings that comprise Maker's Mark Distillery. Maker's Mark occupies one of Kentucky's oldest whiskey-making sites, dating back to 1805, and is designated a National Historic Landmark. The black and red trim buildings straddle the banks of Harding Creek, the stream that dissects the serene valley floor of Star Hill Farm. On the road leading down to the creek, the visitors passes the Court, one of America's oldest remaining retail package stores. In a period before the dark cloud of prohibition, Marion County neighbors would swing by in their horse and buggy and have their quart jugs filled from the whiskey barrels inside. A special Southern alchemy takes place at Maker's Mark, an alchemy that creates a truly handmade whiskey, America's first premium quality bourbon of the modern era. The president of Maker's Mark is Rob Samuels, who took over for the charismatic and inventive Bill Samuels Jr. in 2011. Samuels is the 8th generation Kentucky bourbon maker, and the link stretches back to his ancestors Robert Samuels of the 1780s, neighbor of Baptist preacher, entrepreneur, and pioneering whiskey maker Elijah Craig. In 1953, Bill Samuels Sr. bought the Star Hill Farm 200 acres of fertile farmland with an old country distillery on site and a deep spring-fed lake on the hill above it. Walker, you tell me what the name of the lake is now. Bill Sr. had no interest in selling the pedestrian bourbon of his competitors, so he scrapped the old family recipe and set out to produce a premium sipping bourbon. My dad's goal was to create a bourbon that was more refined, palatable, and yet flavorful, explains Bill Jr., something that did not have the hot aftertaste traditionally associated with bourbon. The purpose was not about money. It was about bringing good taste to bourbon, and he's designated it for a palate of one himself. Bill Sr. experimented with different grains for bourbon, developing a recipe based on locally grown corn, winter wheat, softer and gentler flavor than the traditional spicy rye, and malted barley. Mr. Samuels, meanwhile, came up with the name Maker's Mark based on the tradition of English pewter markers who put their marks on their finest pieces. The mark of Bill Samuels still decorates every bottle, and as does another Mrs. Samuels innovation, the hand-dipped wax seal that spills down the neck of Maker's Mark bottle. So right here you can see people on the audio, but there's that embossed in the glass, their stamp, and then every single bottle, and this is dipped in red wax and it drips down the side. So you get to, in some cases, do this yourself. They'll talk about it. Came up with tradition. Okay. In 1958, the first barrel of Maker's Mark handmade whiskey, spelled without an E, in tribute to the Samuels Scottish ancestry, because Scotch is spelled without the E, and Irish is with, and American is with. But this is the one exception in America where the it's spelled without the E. it was ready for the market. Sales of the early makers were gradual and local, spreading slowly by word of mouth among the whiskey connoisseurs of Kentucky. By 1980, Maker's Mark had become a Kentucky icon. Bill Samuels Jr. says, and then the Wall Street Journal ran a front page article about us that year, and the phone rang off the hook. The article was huge for us. It created consumer interest outside Kentucky and gave the brand credibility. Maker's Mark was acquired by Beam Global some years back, and now a part of it became now Suntory. And it's also owns Jim Beam also. Maturation is in black metal side warehouses ranging from 3 to 6 stories, and Makers is one of the rare distilleries that rotates barrels in the same warehouse. It's a costly and in the early part of the new millennium, the company broke from tradition with the wonderful new whiskey Maker's 46. The numbers did not refer to the strength of its proof or 47 ABV, but to the specific tasting and charring of the wood used in the maturation process, which involves emptying the casks, adding French oak staves, and refilling for further maturation. Maker's Mark has a stylish, modern visitor center and a gift shop, which includes a wax dipping booth so the visitors can dip and seal their own bottles. So there you go, man. That is kind of Matt Leisen says he's an ambassador. I suggest anybody who's listening to go and be an ambassador because honestly, it's really kind of it's a fantastic thing. But let's get back to this. This is the wood finishing series, which is similar. So what happens in the wood finishing series is exactly what happens in Maker's 46 is the Maker's 46 is the staves that they use French. They use a bunch of different French oak, they use American, they use all different types to come up with their barrel private selects. But in this case, the wood finishing series is the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Barrel finished with 10 virgin oak staves. And Makers certified carbon nestling. So I've got a little bit of that on. This is one thing because I don't have it on I have it on the heart batch. This is the heart release. And let me share that on the screen for everybody that is on. And we'll go over here. This is Breaking Bourbon, one of my favorite places. It is straight bourbon finished with virgin oak staves, Suntory Maker's Mark. The heart was released on July of 2024, 111.7 proof, no age statement. Mash bill 70% corn, 16% wheat, and 14% malted barley. Amber color. Okay, Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series is a collection of bourbons that undergo a wood stave finishing technique that is meant to enhance distinctive characteristics already present in the brand's iconic bourbon. The previous set of 5 releases in the wood finishing series were considered Chapter 1. The Heart release kicks off Chapter 2 and focuses on the teams behind the creation of Maker's Mark bourbon, according to Maker's Mark. This year's release is meant to showcase the unique taste vision inspired by the Distillery team. The bourbon is finished with 2 different types of virgin French oak staves, 10 staves each, with one set inserted in the bottle for 5 weeks and the other for 9 weeks. The finishing takes place in the distillery's limestone cellar where Maker's Mark cellar aged is aged. So this is really kind of cool how this finishing series works. And the 24, now this release here, and I'm going to read about that. Hopefully, now I'm going to get off the share because I do not need to keep sharing that. There we go. And we're back here for the second chapter of our limited released wood finishing series. Now, this is now that was the heart release. Okay, so of our limited was okay for the Keeper's release. It says series pursues unique taste visions that celebrate those who craft our handmade bourbon at Star Hill Farm. The makers of the Keeper's release is a one-of-a-kind expression inspired by the people who oversee the maturation of our whiskey, the true keepers of Maker's Mark. Through cold winters and hot Kentucky summers, they deploy a deep knowledge of the aging process, hand-rotating casks to ensure every single drop of our whiskey emerges from the barrel at its very best. This is a bold expression with hints of oak, toasted sweetness, We hope you enjoy this one as much as we have enjoyed making it. So that is the Keepers release. Now this one, which is the Heart release, that the makers of our makers, if you will, in this 2024 release, known as the Heart release, will have crafted a one of a kind expression that celebrates our team that distills our whiskey. This team is the center, the heart of, if you will, of our whiskey making process. This stage in the process served to guide all other stages, ensuring our taste vision is realized fruit forward with caramel, maple, and chocolate notes. This expression features a rich, creamy mouthfeel that it's a pure delight. We hope you enjoy this one as much as they enjoyed making it. So that's the two of them. Now, that gets us to the Maker's Mark, and I got to get back to comments. Doing all right. This is older than walking forward. Oh, let's see. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Hi, bro. Hey, Uno. Barrel proof. No, I believe the Heart release was a 111. I want to say I do believe they keep it there, but let me see. This one is 109.3 for the Keeper, so a little bit less. Warehouse WH2-5, it is 109.3. Release 2 of 5, 109. Okay, 10 virgin oak staves, and the mash bill would be the same as I read on both of these because it's the Maker's Mark mash bill. So that brings us to this part and this section of the podcast, and it is the Old Louisville Whiskey Company's barrel bottle breakdown. This section is, or this section of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys is brought to you by the Old Louisville Whiskey Company in Louisville, Kentucky. Amin Carr there, it does a great job of purchasing barrels. He's done it for a long time, and he purchases those barrels and then he bottles them right there while you're there at the at his distillery. He's just added a brand new pot still, so that he can say that he's at the distillery. But you got to go see Amin at Old Louisville Whiskey Company. Tell him the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, this is where you heard about it, but what Amin does there is a fantastic job. And if you've never been able to thief or get into a barrel, getting over to Amin at Old Louisville Whiskey Company, there's a good chance you're going to be able to taste something right from the barrel and even bottle your own right from the barrel, just like you can. So tonight's barrel bottle breakdown is of the Keepers Blend 2025. This bottle is going to be put up against our barrel bottle breakdown rating scale, which consists of nose, body, taste, and finish. But the barrel bottle breakdown is a series of knocks on a barrel that we put up, and the most knocks that you can get for the nose or the aroma or the smell is four knocks for that category. The most knocks you can get for the body is 4 knocks for that category. But in the taste and the finish, you can get up to 5 knocks. And that is because if it just what we've evolved the rating scale to be. So that's a total of 18. But if there is one exceptional category, you can add a but up to it to just one per time. So a perfect score is 19 out of 18 for exceptional bourbons. But I'm going to tell you, honestly, I'm going to tell you that this right here, and I don't know why it's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that. Well, let's get that in. This particular bottle right here, I purchased on Sunday. I purchased this bottle last year, and I wonder what's happening with the internet. with the YouTube. I hope I don't lose it because it's actually absolutely doing really well tonight. But this bottle right here, Sunday, between me and Roxy, we've got this at least a third gone on it. This is a good bottle. So I was excited to do the barrel bottle breakdown of Maker's The Keepers release of 2025. So let's get this going. I have this great there's the pewter stamp of the Star Hill Farm SIVs, which is 4. This is hand blown glass that when we did the podcast, Amanda Humphreys gifted us this glass. It's special from that. And we are going to taste this in that glass. But remember, we also have the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Glencairns. If you need one of those, get a hold of me for that. But I'm going to put it in this Maker's Mark. Awesome glass. And like I said, first I'm going to do the barrel bottle breakdown, and then I'm going to compare it to last year's release. How they drop in those staves is pretty damn cool. I wonder what is going on. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to text my wife. Let's see. Are you on the internet? There you go. All right, get back here. Let's see. It seems to be, let's see, it's still working, but it's all, I swear to God, okay. Let me see if that's the camera. I must have, maybe that's the camera right there, but I'm looking, am I going to look at that? That is not blurry. So whatever's happening with the internet. Now she said she's not, so hopefully I get back over here and there we go. All right. Anyways, all right. So we're back at this. So we'll start the barrel bottle breakdown now. Everybody got it in their glass? Do you all have something? I gave her a glass in return. All right. Oh, the nose on this. Let's see. It's had breathing time. This is perfect. It's got there's a nice oaky, almost like a wine, but there's a caramel apple, and the apple is strong. And the nose has a really, really fresh, for 109 proof, it's got a really, really fresh. I'm going to switch over here back into that. All right, there we go. Now it's feeling better. But the nose is apple and fruity. Now, I did pour a decent pour, and this is not a Glen. So when you're looking at what it does in your glass and how the body of it, the one telltale is you read the legs. It's when it coats the side of the glass, and then how it drips back down. It tells you how thick and the viscosity of the actual bourbon, which tends to, when you get some really nice legs dropping back into that glass, forming, a longer leg, you get it tends to have a little bit more, um, a better mouthfeel, which is part of that body. I also rate body based off what it does in the glass like this, but I also rate the body based off of how much the flavor in spreads out throughout your whole mouth. Its cheeks, a full. If you were going to give a body at a full 4 or with a bit up, the flavor it has to go, and you have to feel it in your cheeks, on the roof of your mouth, underneath your tongue, the bottom. back of your throat. The flavor has that's to me what the body is. So here we go. I'm gonna taste it. Wow. When I taste, and you can see what that's doing in that glass, how long those legs are. There's cherry. So the first part is definitely on the front of your mouth, on the front of your palate. I'm going to do this again. Wow. On the front of your palate, there's a ton of caramel. But then as you go and you go back to that back palate, it picks up a little bit of cinnamon. There's an apple aspect of it, but then there's also a really, really sweet, um, like a frosting. It goes from caramel to like a sugary frosting, with then gets the hug is really, really full. You taste it in your cheeks, you taste it roof of your mouth, everything. The body is fantastic. The flavor is everywhere. And I would say that in that all of that, you pick up the flavor of the wood also. There's some of those wood tannins in there. Now, let's see about this one more time. There's a lot of Maker's Mark. Honestly, there's a ton of Maker's Mark. The glass is made from recycled Maker's Mark bottles blown into shape by a specific artist. Yes, fantastic glass body. Okay, we just cracked the 2025. Okay, so you're drinking it right now with me right now, Matt. Right? All right. Now the finish is still. There's a little bit of cherry, like cherry apple, but the wood is there's a decent amount of wood there. And the part that stays for a while is that oaky flavor. Now, if you are a fan of a Chardonnay, this is a fantastic whiskey. Because the sweetness at one point changes from sweet on that finish, and it's there. Cinnamony. You pick up some of that like cherry apple, and then you pick up the wood. I would say mid to long palate. So, all right. So here we go. I love the freshness of this nose. And so I'm going to go with a 3 out of 4 out of the freshness because of that apple kind of flavor, whatever freshness that's existing. 3 bangs, or not bangs, 3 knocks. All right. 3 knocks on that. Body. It goes everywhere. Would have to say, I won't get, it doesn't get, I would say that the body, this one is at 109, it's Maker's Mark. It fills every aspect of, you pick up that Maker's Mark profile. I got to go with a 4 on the body, Randy. I think it's a little, I mean, it's not a butt up. It's not one of those that you could give like a lot of the barrel strength stuff, but this one for 109, it's pretty damn good. I'm going to give it a 4 on the body. So we're up to 7 out of 8. All right, we go to the big categories, the taste, where you can give up to a 5. The drinkability of this is fantastic. I love the taste. It's Maker's Mark with extra caramel, then a little bit of like a apple kind of Chardonnay kind of cinnamony thing that happens. So from the taste, this is fantastic. I will give it the full 5 on this is what I love about bourbon, and this one's at a 5. Now we're talking. So right now we've lost 1 point. So out of 13, it's 12 out of 13. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Matt says they might step. I just think the batches all are different. I mean, we pulled out a batch out of there when we did it that you get when you do the farm tour for everybody, and that one I was able to pick up and dip myself. Um, I will say that where this differs, where like a cellar aged excels beyond this, is on the finish. The finish is good, and so like if you're talking, it's good, but it's probably medium. And in the end, it finishes with an oaky flavor that I would get with maybe like like there is the sweetness happening of the apple and the cherry, but then it goes to this oaky Chardonnay kind of finish. And I like it, but I'm not going to say that that's what I want from a bourbon. So of the 5, I give this one a 3. Here we go. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's I'm kind of hitting that on pretty good as those knocks are. So I'm going to rate this year's 2005 Keepers release, Maker's Mark. I have given it 15 out of 18 because I think that would have been, yep, 15 out of 18. So pretty damn good whiskey. Thank you for listening to the old Louisville barrel bottle breakdown for Tuesday, April 22nd. Maker's Mark Keepers release 2025. There you go. So we got people from all over the place on YouTube and whatnot. What did you think about it, Matt? I'll probably put that part out. Now I'm gonna put this up against last. Now this has only been open since Sunday. The Keepers batch. Let's put the 2 there. Put one here, one here. Let's do it that way. And I am going to I'm going to try, I haven't tried this for a while, but I'm going to put a little bit of this heart release. Now I'm definitely biased. I might be able to get Roxy to come down here and pour me a blind on the 2. I know what they are right now. Let me see. Yeah, totally different, both of them. Although that heart release is pretty damn good off the first after it's sat. Okay. So the Keeper's release isn't as Maker's Marky. The heart release is very that has evolved into something really good. A little bit more cinnamony than I think the 111 proof, the heart release is a lot more like the classic barrel strength bourbon that you get. I'm telling you, in my opinion, the 2025 pulls in right next to each other. is pulling in something that's a little bit different that I like better. They're both damn good. This heart release, after it's sat for a little bit, once it's open, has turned into a it has way more oak. It's got that rich charred oak that you pick up in a beam or on in any cast strength. That's what the heart release has. That group of people love Kentucky cast strength bourbon. That's what the heart release tastes like. Where this keeper's batch, it has way more white frosting. The sweetness is not the classic Kentucky barrel sweetness. And the two of them are both fantastic, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm pulling in this keepers. It'll be interesting to see after I let it sit in the bottle like that for a while. All right, so we got that out of the way. I did want to talk about a little bit tonight about what I did last Thursday. It's kind of cool. The state of Ohio likes to include whiskey podcasters, influencers on their state picks that they do. They do a lot. Picking a barrel with the state of Ohio is completely different than picking a barrel with a group or for yourself. When you're picking for a group or yourself, you're trying to pick that one barrel. I like to think that as the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, or when I'm on barrel picks, where you're picking that one barrel for Kentucky Bourbon Festival, the distillery's putting out some damn good barrels, because what you want to showcase at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival or through the podcast, a podcast where you're going to come through and promote the brand when you make the pick. You want to have good barrels available for what, for the publicity. Make it what. So a lot of the times when we're picking, we get to pick some damn good barrels, and the same thing with the state of Ohio. But the state of Ohio is always picking multiple barrels. They're in it, and they understand that palates are different. So when they're picking, they're just trying to pick for good whiskey. But I believe on Monday, I want to say on Tuesday, Andemic contacted me and asked if I could do a barrel pick with the state of Ohio in Columbus, about 2 hours away, and on Thursday, and asked me what I wanted to, if I wanted to do that. And I was like, yeah, cool. So last Thursday, I met with Dark Arts and Macaulay Minton, and we chose from 10 barrels. I believe we picked 4. And I got to Macaulay Minton. I've known, he is the person who on my first initial bourbon steward on the bourbon steward class, I did it at Wilderness Trail with Macaulay. And I met Macaulay. That's the first time I ever met Macaulay. But then I was on barrel picks with Macaulay. Alan Bishop knows Macaulay. Royce Neely knows Macaulay. I ran into Macaulay numerous more times. And then when he left Wilderness Trail and he started Dark Arts, we went and saw him down at Dark Arts, and went and tasted through some barrels, put up a ton of social media on the barrel thieving, and but we're going to have him coming up. But in the state of Ohio, everybody, Dark Arts, Macaulay has done so much to promote this brand, and it's becoming very, very successful. But it's not as successful in the state of Ohio as I would like it to be, because this is some damn good bourbon. Whether you're drinking from his batch releases or single barrels or whatnot, Dark Arts is whiskey house is fantastic whiskey. So we were able to go down, meet with Macaulay. I'm working out having him on the podcast. Now, I'll also want to say I'm also working to go down and see uh, Dan McKee and Andrea Wilson at Michter's. And then we're also going to have Bernie Lubbers May 6th. I want to say it's a Tuesday, May 6th. We will be having Bernie on the podcast. He is the brand ambassador for Heaven Hill and Mr. Bottle and Bond. And he's a fantastic ambassador. When we did our Elijah Craig barrel pit proof, barrel proof pick at Heaven Hill, we had Bernie come on and do the pick with us, and that was fantastic. Got to meet more than just passing time. Got to spend some time with Bernie, so he's going to be on. But Dark Arts, I'm telling you, this is what Macaulay is going to bring to the finishing industry. He's taking it to a different level. All we know is when someone says French oak, they're putting French oak in. Macaulay will explain to you there's 3 different major forests in the French in France, and each forest yields different oak that different wines use. So each forest is different. So if you just hear about French oak and you don't know what forest it came from, that's something that is important because they yield different flavors and tastes. And Macaulay has taken it upon himself to understand where all of his finishing barrels come from, what was finished in them exactly. It's like if it's an Oloroso, he'll know the brands and everything. So what he's done is fantastic. So look forward to the Dark Arts podcast coming up. I'm excited hanging out with Macaulay and Ann Dimmick, two of my favorite people. Was fantastic. Also, I want to, Greg Schneider announced that he was going to be at 4 branches. That is now going through. They made it official on their website. It was posted on Facebook. Greg is just already starting. The brand had started and there was some things, and he's already getting and using his knowledge and expertise to start what Greg does and what he had done for Chicken Cock. He's now going to do for 4 branches. I'm looking forward to it and very excited about that. So we got a lot happening going forward. I'm still going to sip on this. Yeah, the heart release is way more powerful. And it's funny because when you think about Maker's Mark and what we talked about with what Bill Samuels Jr. said that Bill Samuels was trying to do when he started Maker's Mark. And when you think about that, I need some water. When you think about that, he's talking about back then he wanted to make Maker's Mark a smooth, easy drinking whiskey, one that didn't have that bite that some people love, but other people don't. But it's funny now. Up until a while ago, before the private selects, you couldn't get barrels aged any further than what they were aging the barrels, and they were just making Maker's Mark all along. When Maker's Mark 46 came along, that was their first ever change in what they were doing. But they also weren't changing the proof. Now we have barrel proof. We've got the cellar aged, which is further aged because forever Maker's Mark wouldn't age it any longer. And this is the cellar aged. And I'm sure this is one of my favorite. You can see this is a great bottle that got dipped. But my thing is that the newer higher proof Maker's Marks don't exactly fit the bill because whiskey has evolved because a lot of people like that higher proof. They like that little bit more age. They like that little bit of bite. And that's kind of just like if you take the sport of baseball, um, there's different time periods where things are happening within the sport. Right now, in the 70s and the 80s, average was very, very important. People would hit for average, didn't want to strike out. But right now, home runs and strikeouts are the name of the game. So it's evolved to be a little bit more straightforward and less finesse and get more of the glamour and a strikeout and homers. Those are way up in baseball right now. Whereas, at different times, the homers are down and the strikeouts are down. So there's a lot of different evolutions of the bourbon industry. But right now, people drinking cast strength when they were putting cast strength out way back. It's just like, what is going on? They're putting cast strength out, and when they did it, when Booker did it, and when people were doing it, they didn't think people were going to drink it at cast strength. They wanted to give it to them so they could add water and drink it at the proof that they wanted to drink it at, where they felt was the best to drink it. But it's evolved into people buying it and drinking it in cast strength form. All right. It's funny, but this cellar aged, which is 119.3, so very close, 10. This drinks more like what Bill Jr. was trying to do. It's very easy for 119 proof. And that's pretty cool. All right, everybody. Maker's Mark. Now, everybody on YouTube and Facebook, you can hang on afterwards. We hang out for a little bit after, but we're going to end this for the regular podcast at this point. I think that was a pretty fantastic. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Right afterwards, if you hang on, I am going to, especially if you're watching on Facebook, I will set up I will give you a cut. Canadian Mist represents got a fifth in my freezer. I mean, Canadian Mist. I mean, it's okay, but we're dealing with a lot different when we're talking about the whiskeys and the bourbons. This is more of a pure form of whiskey. But you know what? If you're drinking Canadian Mist, at least you're drinking something, and that is whatever you like, whoever you are. The only palate that matters. My palate don't matter. His palate don't matter. My friend's palate don't matter. Your palate matters because you have to drink with what you like. I get that so many times. People are like, "Well, I don't understand how people can do this." Well, if you can't, I mean, I can honestly say that when I was younger, I would have said the same thing that I wouldn't be doing this. But at this point, I honestly absolutely love bourbon and whiskey and all the different whiskeys and tasting Irish and Japanese and just sipping and relaxing and it being part of the whiskey culture. And that's one thing that we're always selling. We are selling the relaxation, the breaking down of chaos and stress. This is what whiskey does when you use it as a tool, not as a crutch. This is something that's to be enjoyed. People put a lot of time and effort into the spirit, and they want you to taste it, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. And if you do it right, you can be tasting multiple bourbons and getting to meet the greatest people on the planet who either are associated, make it, or also friends who enjoy it just as much as we do. So, with that said, we're going to end this podcast tonight. Thank you, everybody. As always, Thursday night, We have Jin coming on, my son, who really has converted since the last time he's been on. He really does and likes bourbon over gin. I've been sending him stuff, and it's been kind of cool. So remember, Facebook and YouTube, you don't have to go out, but we are going to end this segment of the audio podcast. So here we go. www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Contact me or on the website for these awesome Glencairns. We also have t-shirts for sale, and from time to time we put other things up, including bourbon balls, which we are in the process of getting ready to be making. Again, we actually have some pecans that have been soaking for 18 months, a little over a year and a half. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X on social media, and then all the major podcast formats, including Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. But no matter how you listen or watch us, remember, like, listen, comment, and subscribe, leave good feedback, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. So remember, good bourbon and whiskey equals good times and good friends. Remember to drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. And little Steve-O's gonna take us out.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die.
Good night. All right, we got that. I'm going to quick do some stuff to make it work. All right, clarity and voice quality. File publish to uploading. I'm going to call it MM. And we're going to call it WFS. And not podcast studio. We will put in the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Save. All right, so we're saving that. Everybody, hi back again for a third time. Thanks, Jay, for coming in and being on a third time. We're doing the Maker's Mark series. I will put out for everybody on YouTube really quick. I think I've got it. I want to say I've got it right. Really? I don't know what happened, but somehow I got to figure out how the freaking thing turned to, I want to say, Portuguese. All right. That didn't work. All right. Well, I'll do it again right here. We're in Zoom. We'll come over here. All right. Copy invitation. Right there. Boom. Enter. What just happened there? That switch. Oh, let's try it again. What is going on? Oh. Did I put, okay. That's what I got to do. Let's see. Let's delete. Let's delete. Let's go here. All right, there we go. Delete can be. How the heck, Randy? Did it go there yet? Did I send it?
Yeah, I got it.
Or it's
Well, I don't see it now. Hold on. Because you can hear me.
I can hear you.
And you'll be able to see my ugly mug in just a second. Yeah,
Yeah.
now you can see my ugly mug. So now you're really.
So it did go on there. I kept pushing it on and I wasn't looking in the right place. All right. Hopefully hopefully Matt jumps on. All right.
Hopefully, some of the new people will jump on that are still watching.
Jack in the Beanstalk says hi on YouTube. YouTube was decent tonight. It was a little bit better than it's been. You know, we should get a decent amount. There you are, Walker.
Yeah, I'm here.
Well,
You knew I wasn't gonna miss this one, didn't you?
Yeah, except Walker, you're gonna turn yours horizontal, right? So you can fill the whole screen.
Let's see what I can do. It's harder horizontal, tiny, because I have a phone cover on. Let me see if I can.
All you gotta do is rotate it.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Harder to hold.
It has a whole phone width of leather underneath it because I have a cover on this.
That sounds like it's a problem for your girlfriend.
That would be if I had one right now, but I don't.
Okay.
Walker.
Matt went horizontal and now he's back. He's back to vertical. Yeah. There we go. All right. Look at that.
Slowly working on it.
Well, I'm supposed to be on the road right now. I'm debating if I'm going to go. I'm having a grand opening of a Costco.
Yeah, you told me.
No telling what they'll have. You know, that's one of those things, though, if you're not first, you might as well. I mean, if you're not in the top 10, you probably don't need to be there. I prefer to be the top 2, but I went to the baseball game with my wife tonight.
Yes, Jack in the Beanstalk. I read your thing about gin tasting like pine trees. I completely agree. Oh, now we got Furbot to come. Why do you consume so much alcohol and ruin your health? Hey, Furbat, just so you know, Con, how do you even know how much alcohol I consume? It's just, I don't consume a lot. It doesn't ruin my health. Actually, I consume the right amount to be healthy. Now, if you want to ask me what I consume too much of, it was probably the cherry pie last night.
Oh, that sounds like that would have been good.
Oh, it was fantastic. I wish you were here because I give it to you. I told Roxy to throw it away because I can't have any more of it. She made it out of like vanilla pudding and Cool Whip and cherries and a graham cracker crust, and it went with this bottle. It went with this bottle so good. We were like, she brought it, and she brought it paired with this like a mother effer. And it was like we drank it. Look at this bottle. This is since Sunday. This was Easter. It was full in the Easter basket.
You guys are drinking some good stuff, but you have missed. Give me just 1 second. 1 second.
You do realize, Randy. Randy, when you come on the podcast, you have to figure out how to put a Zoom background in.
What?
You're going to have to put a Zoom background in because, or you're just going to have to organize those boxes.
Well, I'll just turn the camera around where it's looking at my book.
Here we go. I think we got John Rick coming in.
It's okay. I'll buy Randy a shelf for Christmas.
What's up, Walker?
What's up, Matt?
Matt, I see your big baker's thing over there. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it's mostly empty right now. I'm getting packed up.
Matt, can you back me on this?
Yes, sir. Oh, dude.
Are they missing something or what? Are they missing something or what?
They are. They need to get one.
Well, this one's for you.
I appreciate it. Dude, I cannot wait to meet up with you. I feel like
I gotta get one. I've got to get one more. They had 2 left. I'm gonna send somebody tomorrow to get one for me.
Sweet. I appreciate it. That bottle was killer.
Yes. This is all I've got left. That's all I've got left of mine.
Me too. I'm right there.
What? Was that where you guys were?
I gave her to the pool.
John's
the guy
on.
at the distillery, the guy at the distillery only had a half a bottle left, and he split between us.
Yeah.
I gave him the one with the label just in case he was going to do a podcast with it or something. And then I stopped by my local liquor store in Maryville, and they had 3 of these on the shelf, so I grabbed him one.
Dude, it's so awesome.
You guys were like fighting over it, and then it just was there.
Well, there are not many places it's there. That place has some. It's a really good place to go get.
How much is that bottle?
$80. 79.01 out the door.
I've got a lot of stuff coming up. I booked a dinner that the Scotchy Bourbon Boys are going to be doing a tasting, and then also a personal taste. A guy wants to do a personal tasting with his friends, so I'm almost have that booked. So there we go. So what do you got, John, as far as makers?
I'm drinking the 2024 Heart right now, and then I got the 23 cellar age and the 24 cellar age, but I'm just doing the 24 Heart right now.
I got that last release. Let me see. Oh, this I'll show it to you. I never opened it because it's the last release, because this was this series was Jane's. This was her thing. And she basically, let's see if I got it. I got so much Maker's Mark now. It's like it's become the. There it is.
Almost mash.
This one.
Have you guys got this one?
Which one?
Which one of you guys got the Kobe bottle? When Kobe died, and they put these out.
No,
I
I
didn't
missed
get
that
that
one.
one.
I was like, how come I'm like, 5 buttons, and I finally got one. I'm like, yes.
This is one that my local store did called LL Cool Juice.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
awesome.
If you want to get into it, the state of Ohio went nuts for a while and just named everything. But look at that.
BEP, nice.
2023.
Yeah, that was the last. What's Jane's last name?
Oh, good Lord. We met, and I'm struggling to remember.
I mean, they call it Potter Jane Distillery.
Denny Potter.
Yep, I know it's and Jane. Anyways, this is her last.
You're talking about?
Yeah, that's her last release. That's before she left.
Okay. Cool. I didn't know that.
And so I got that, and I'm gonna have her sign it at one point.
2023 BEP one.
Yep. The blue label. Did you open yours?
I haven't opened this one yet. It's on the shelf. See, I used to keep 3 open, and then I go down the line when we finish one, I go to the next one.
I would say that we should keep these unopened.
Okay. Only because the one I have unopened is my 3rd bottle.
What do you think of that one compared to the 25 Keepers release?
I prefer it.
Oh, is this? Let me see here. I think they're the same, aren't they?
They are.
Yep.
Blue Label gives it away.
I screwed up and ordered 2 of them, so I can open one and try it,
Oh, you can.
You can.
or I can save it and open it on the bus because you guys haven't had it.
Oh, there's gonna be. You should open it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking about opening tonight instead, and then bringing the rest of it to the bus.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Danny?
Yeah, yeah. You can bring that to the bus. Matt agrees, right, Matt?
I am 100% with you on that one.
Would you rather have that?
Yeah. Yes.
You don't know what I was going to say.
It doesn't matter. Yes, unless you're going to bring a Pappy 23. Yes.
Well, I was going to say Pappy 20.
Okay, then I don't know.
Take the Daniel one, Tiny. Come on, just do it.
No,
I think so.
I'll get a so we are going I haven't announced it yet, but the sponsor of the bus tour is going to be Revival Spirits, Vintage Spirits, and they are going to supply the special pours at a discounted rate for us, so that we should have way more than we would normally have. So I'm working with Brad so that he can start filtering me the stuff, and I've got a budget, and he's going to get me a bunch of stuff. And so one of the things is that he gets a lot of really good whiskey, but the labels and the bottles are weathered or destroyed, and then you can't sell it for top dollar as far as like collect to collectors, but the whiskey in it is fantastic. So we are going to get a bunch of stuff. I mean, this is going to be wild. You are going to be drinking stuff that you can't even imagine. We could even be drinking something from, I'm going to try and get something from the 1800s.
That's awesome.
Damn.
Matt, you remember that
I
bottle?
threw a bunch of that stuff out.
What?
I threw a bunch of that stuff out because it was in those ceramic things, and I was afraid of the lead.
Okay.
Panthers?
Okay, that's not a thing. You can tell when the whiskey's gone. There's nothing to be afraid of the ceramic things. That when the whiskey goes bad, it goes cloudy. So Nash has been absolutely with his Jim Beam decanters. Just his dad had them all, and he just pours them. And if it's good, I mean, it is so.
I wish I'd have known that because they're all gone. The reason I did that, they were given to me by 13th Colony. They had a whole bunch of like hundreds of them, and I probably took 30 or 40 of them. But I had to dump. But I dumped the whiskey because they said it would be bad.
No,
Shouldn't have listened to them. I know.
Nope, because like there was a Kentucky, what is it? Commonwealth of Kentucky, which was distilled by Pappy Van Winkle before he started making Pappy Van Winkle, and it was in a decanter of a hunter with his black lab shooting, and he opened it right in front of me, and it was cloudy, and then he looked at me and he's like, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, I'll take it." But I got it just as a decanter up on the mantle. But I'm not going to drink the whiskey. I left the whiskey in, but the whiskey was cloudy, and you can't drink it when it's cloudy. But I'm telling you, some of the ones that those beams that come out of those decanters that Nash does, they are cherry red colored and fantastic whiskey.
I should have not done that, but I didn't know any better. Now this, I don't know what this is. One I picked up for Walker.
Great.
That's cool. Kentucky. It's Total Wine.
Yeah,
This one,
have you had it, Walker?
No.
Okay.
so this
Yeah,
one,
wines. If you want it, it's yours. If you don't want it, then
so this one here, Walker recognizes.
Ooh. I need
That
to
sounds
bring my
fantastic.
phone a little bit closer. I got my phone too far away.
Star Hill something.
Nature Distilled, Star Hill Farm.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
wanted to get my first Star Hill Farm. It hadn't come up yet.
look at the dip Roxy got on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
badass.
You want to see a dip?
That's awesome.
I mean, it went almost to the bottom. Look at that.
TT and I are going to open this one. If I can ever get into.
Hold it up so I can see the label. I can't see what it says. Are you just showing the dip?
I'm just showing the dip. It's a cast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I like that. But look at they let her out with that, Walker.
Yeah, for sure, Tiny. That out of one that you can do yourself, that's probably one of the best that I've seen.
And of course, it was done by my wife.
Oh yeah.
Walker, if you get behind that big waxed maker's thing you got over your right shoulder, you're gonna look like a freaking maker's gnome. That's awesome. Like with a red shirt and shit going on, dude.
Oh yeah.
Get in there, man. You gotta duck
Some of the
down.
makers is weird colored too.
Oh, wow. I'm not surprised, Randy. I'm not surprised.
About what?
That's
That
very
weird one.
How about this one?
That's a mint julep bottle.
Yep.
It says it's
How about that one, Matt?
25%
Yes, but
whiskey.
turn it. Oh, that's a Man of War.
Yeah, well, it's justified.
Justified. Okay, yeah. It's a special Kentucky Derby winner or a horse.
Triple Crown winner.
Yeah, Triple Crown winner, yeah.
Isn't this week Isn't next? This is Derby week next week, right?
No, May 3rd.
Which is next week.
Yeah, next
week
week is
Saturday.
Derby week. Yeah,
2 Saturdays from now.
not this Saturday, but the following.
Right,
Third.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I picked this one up in the hood. Yeah, at night, in the rain, in Kentucky. It would have made a song that Elvis would have sang.
With your 9mm packed on your hip. Good boy.
It was in Fort Campbell area, and it was raining that night. And I put liquor stores Fort Campbell, or whatever the town is at Fort Campbell, and it took me out here, and I was the only person not of color within sight.
I love
But
that
it was
place.
raining, you were safe. You're good.
So, Randy, the next time you go to Gatlinburg, before leaving Pigeon Forge coming into Gatlinburg, there's a little liquor store on your left-hand side before you get into really, really heavy traffic where it lies. There's a store on your left-hand side that has more colored wax maker's bottles than I've ever seen in my entire life. And they wrap the entire top of this store from one side to the other.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's on the left side when you come into Gatlinburg, leaving the forest in between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. There's a little store on your left. Go
We
in
won't
there.
stop at
I
it
took a
for sure.
picture. If I can find the picture on my phone, I'll send it to you. There's peach-colored ones, there's red ones, there's blue ones. There's so many. I have never seen so many in my life. I don't know if they're for sale. I'm sure if you had the right price, it is. But I didn't even ask because they were just everywhere. I'm like, this is really, really, really.
That's cool, man.
Mhm.
Well,
Hey,
you
you
got a
guys
lot
like
of
the
grip on that one.
You guys like the BRTs?
I do.
Yep.
I've
So,
got,
yeah,
I've
it's
got
delicious,
them.
man.
I'm actually opening one of those when I graduate I gave it to my dean, gave him a 21. and a
Finishing
20
up
and a
on
BRT.
YouTube.
And we're going to open the
Good night,
BRT
everybody.
I graduate.
On YouTube. Let's finish up YouTube. All